So previously, the way the information would travel would be by osmosis, one person to another, or one person calling another. But the access to information was very limited. Now with the internet, it's like having a nervous system. It's like any part of humanity has access to almost all the information of humanity. Like you could be in the middle of the Amazon jungle with, say, a Starlink terminal and have access to more information than the president did in 1980. So previously, the way the information would travel would be by osmosis, one person to another, or one person calling another. But the access to information was very limited. Now with the internet, it's like having a nervous system. It's like any part of humanity has access to almost all the information of humanity. Like you could be in the middle of the Amazon jungle with, say, a Starlink terminal and have access to more information than the president did in 1980. So previously...
It's like your shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akimai who pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability given to them by Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, be willing for one of your houses. Saki, this is Brother Corner Wealth coming back at you, Lord will, the edifying lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Lord will, it is edifying, Lord will, it is straight to the point. But as you've seen here, Elon Musk was ultimately talking about this Starlink, right? That ultimately, with having this Starlink, you'll be able to access basically the internet, and have access to any information that's on the internet, basically from anywhere, man. And he made the statement that even if you were standing in the middle of the Amazon forest, you would still have, access to more information than, the president did, right, in the 1980s, man, which, this is what E1on is ultimately trying to do. He's trying to, which I remember, Klaus Schwab and, his little, his fairy minion, Yuval Harari or whatever, however you fucking say his name, man. Yeah, man, so he wants to be able to, basically connect machine and human, right? And that's by way of, these micro C-hips, the Neuralink, the little rice grain, the micro C-hip, and things like this Starlink, man. He wants to be able to connect you people to the I.O.T, right? The Internet of Things, right? Which I have it pulled up right here. For those that don't know, I have this little article. It's on techtarget.com, which you can see at the very bottom. We're just going to go into it, and I got a few precepts, and then we'll wrap it up. It says, what is the Internet of Things? It says the Internet of Things, or the I.O.T, is a system of interrelated computer devices, mechanical and digital machines, objects, animals, or people that are provided with unique identifiers, which are, again, those that micro C-hip, man, the RFID micro C-hip, right? It says, and the ability to transfer data over a network without requiring human to human or human to computer interactions, which is, which is heavy because ESO has came out with this AI, right? With which ultimately, is able to, so to speak, work on its own, right? Can be able to gather data, right? Process certain situations, and process certain outcomes or possible outcomes, right? Without human interaction, right? Can ultimately work on its own, and this is what E1on ultimately wants to connect people to, right? So that way, again, automatically, right? The data from your life, right, is ultimately processed, without you having to do anything, man. Your regular, locations, regular travel spots, your habits, Like all these things are ultimately going to be, you know, put into data form and basically displayed before those who ultimately have control over or who process that data, man. You know? Which again, Esau Edom is going to be the one that's going to be in control, because this is what it all boils down to, right? The beginning with the elites, right, of the nation of Esau Edom, right, beginning with the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, DuPonts, Gettys, Oppenheimers, right, the Gates, Bezos, and so on and so forth, right? You got the elites, you got the sub elites, and so on and so forth, man. And those that ultimately try to be a part of that group, you know. But nonetheless, they're the ones that are ultimately, going to be in control, right? When Esau ultimately tries to establish this system, right, they're going to be the ones that ultimately deem, okay, what is worthy and what's unworthy, as far as what they want to be a part of their NWO and what they don't want to be a part of their NWO, right? Dropping down, it says, how does IoT work? It says an IoT ecosystem consists of web-enabled smart devices that use embedded systems such as processors, sensors, and communication hardware to collect, send, and act on data they acquire from their environments. IoT devices share the sensor data they collect by connecting to an IoT gateway or other edge devices where data is either sent to the cloud to be analyzed or analyzed locally. It says sometimes the devices communicate with other related devices and act on the information they got from one another. It says the devices do most of the work without human intervention, although people can interact with the devices, for instance, to set them up, give them instructions, or access the data. It says the connectivity, networking, and communication protocols used with these web-enabled devices largely depend on the specific IoT applications deployed. IoT can also make use of artificial intelligence, that AI, man, right? It says, and machine learning to aid in making data collection processes easier and more dynamic. So basically, they're going to be gathering data on you, man, on what you do, on again, what your regular agenda is, man, your routines. You know what I mean? Whether you go jogging every morning, let's say you go jogging 3 times a week, it'll process those days, right? And say, okay, well, on average, you run about an hour every single time that you run, right? And usually you'll, at the end of your run, you'll stop at this store and grab this thing and this, that, and the third. You'll process every single thing that you do, right? Giving Esau Edom the ability to track and control every single move that you make, man. We're going to read more on this, but I got a couple precepts. This is Psalms. We'll come back to that. This is Psalms chapter 56 and verse 6. It says, they gather themselves together. They hide themselves. They mark my steps when they wait for my soul. And that, and them marking the steps is basically being able to, keep watch or to observe every move that you make and to be able to track it, and right now they do that by you ultimately having these social media sites and posting pictures and locations and so on and so forth, right? They know everything about every single last one of us already, man. They're already tracking, tracking us, man, in our habits and our, our daily routines and so on and so forth by way of these social media sites, man. But soon, from the minute that you get on that social media site and post something, right, they already know your location, right? Because you had which even if you don't, right, because you can track phones, right, with the phone being off, man. You can track. You lose your phone, you can hop on the, the internet, pull up a site, and you can track your phone wherever your phone's at, man, right? So you best believe Esau can track you where you're at right now, right? But it's going to be a hell of a lot easier and a hell of a lot more accurate when people ultimately take this charagma, man. You're going to be directly connected to the actual IoT at that moment, man. And this is what Esau wants, right? He wants that full control. Full control. Let me grab this. It's like you only passed. Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4, and this is what it's all about. It's all about control. Right? It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, which is talking about Esau, Edom, right? The wicked, right? The son of perdition, as we read in the verse previous, right? Verse 3, right? It says, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right? And you read about basically the abilities and characteristics of the Most High through his word, right? And one that, I point out, pretty regularly is Sirach, the 18th chapter, man. Matter of fact, let's grab that. Sirach, the 18th chapter. And I'll start at verse 1. Point is in verse 3. It says, he that liveth forever hath created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous. Like this fucking... I don't know why, man. It keeps... it won't load the... Esau's devices, man. It's like it will just get to the point in verse 3. I know it's fucking phone. And I have the blue letter, but it doesn't have, the Apocrypha. But verse 3, it says, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, right? So everything, that goes on in the world, the Lord is in control of, right? It says, in all things obey his will, right? So this is what Esau Edom wants, right? He wants to be able to have the power of the Most High, right? And this is why you consistently see this damn devil putting himself in that position as if he is God, right? Going back to, him committing the unforgivable sin, right? Blaspheming the Holy Spirit, right? He changed the basically what, the Most High looks like, Yahweh Shai looks like, all the prophets, and apostles and disciples and so on and so forth, man. Right? The great men of the scriptures, man. Right? Beginning with Yahweh Shai, Shai, changed the pictures of them, man. Made them to look like him, right? So when people, and then spread that across the world, man. Right? Because he wants to be the Most High, right? He wants to be the one that everybody worships, man. When really he's just a man, right? And he's the basis of men, so he's the least of all men, right? But again, at this present time, that he is in control, right, of what's going on, man. That narrative that's being pushed in the earth, you know what I mean? And with the Lord Yahweh Shai is starting to reveal that he ain't shit, man. That he's really not in control, And this is why you see, this damn devil, starting to push this agenda a lot more. And you're starting to see more and more, talks on this, micro C-hip and taking this charagma and so on and so forth, man. You have more articles pop up about it. More and more people are talking about it because Esau's starting to, speed it up, right? You had the World Economic Forum as well as NATO say, hey, man, we got to speed up that Agenda 2030, man, which we understand what the Agenda 2030 is, right? 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We understand that he has an NWO, right? That he is trying to ultimately push, right? Which is having you people take this charagma, which will ultimately, solidify himself, in the position of the Most High, being able to track and control and everybody steps at once, right? This is what his agenda is all about, right? Going back, it says, why is the IoT important? This is the Internet of Things helps people live and work smarter, as well as gain complete control over their lives, right? So it's not necessarily about you having complete control over your life. It's about Esau Edom, right? The elites of the nation Esau Edom being able to have complete control over your life, man. Because we already there again. We can mention it multiple times, right? Esau Edom, he had this woman, man, over in Australia, looked like a so-called Asian woman. I don't necessarily know, but she went and took this the charagma, right? She got it, and she did a video on it, and you know what I mean. She was all excited, and she, but then turned around, and she did another video about how she done fucked up taking this thing because now they locked her out of her home. They locked her out of basically her bank account, basically everything, man. Right? They locked her out completely, which just shows you right? The E1 is the one that's in control of this charagma, right? He's the one that gets to deem you worthy to be a part of his society or not, man. Right? This is what it's coming down to. All about control. It has nothing to do with convenience, even though that's what they say. Right? They sit there and they try to play on your convenience, play on your emotions, and this, that, and the third, right? But in reality, it's just about control, man. You know? It says, in addition to offering smart devices to automated homes, IoT is essential to businesses. It's like your business. IoT provides businesses with a real-time look into how their system really work, delivering insights into everything from the performance of machines to supply chain and logistics operations. And it's not just performance of machines, man. Performance of humans. You got this whole thing over there in China where they put these headbands on. And what it does is it tracks your brain waves, man, right, and reports that those brain waves and whether you're paying attention or whether you're doing what you're supposed to do, right, your focus. It sends that data right to the teacher's desk, right in real time, right in front of you, man. You know, and that teacher is able to see whether you're paying attention or whether you're doing right what you're supposed to be doing, man. So this is something that's taking place in the world right now, man. You know. So it's not far-fetched, you know, that the RFID micro C-hip is a charagma. I mean, that's the absolute truth, man. You know? It says the second paragraph, it says IoT enables companies to automate processes and reduce labor costs. Yeah, we can skip that. And then it goes in right to, we'll skip all this and go right to the pros and cons, right? It says, what are the pros and cons of the IoT? It says some of the advantages of IoT include the following: ability to access information from anywhere at any time on any device. And that's exactly what, going back to that video, right, that E1on Musty that we watched in the beginning, right? Post-production, right? Pre-production, Slakia, you know? Where it's saying, hey, man, you having this Starlink terminal, right, will be able to allow you to have access anywhere, right? Any information anywhere. You know, so that's, you know, this is what it's all about, man. You know, it says improves communication between connected electronic devices, transferring data packets over a connected network, saving time and money, and automating tasks, helping to improve the quality of a business's services and reduce the need for human intervention. Right, so some disadvantages. IoT includes the following: as the number of connected devices increases and more information is shared between devices, the potential that a hacker could steal confidential information also increases, which at the end of the day is who's going to be the main hacker? It's going to be E1on, because he's going to be the one that's gathering all the data, tracking everything that you do, you know, and again, he'll also have the ability to be able to shut off your charagma, man, right? Because again, it's all about control, right? If he feels and deems you that you're what you're doing as a threat to his society, or he done made a law and you broke that law, he can automatically completely separate you from society, man, right? Again, this is what it's all about. Let me grab this real quick while it's fresh on the brain, right? Revelations 13 and verse 15, right? It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And that starts with physical separation, right? And if that doesn't, you know, you know, because the physical separation is, again, what we had seen with that woman that made the video. Her bank account was shut down. She couldn't get into her home. Right? She's physically being separated from society, right? And we've seen a glimpse of that with this the C19, right? The scamdemic, right? Where they had people literally physically separated, you know, and what happened? Those that ultimately didn't take, you know, the Icky Vicky weren't allowed to go into, you know, certain venues, certain able to do certain things. You couldn't go to certain parks. You couldn't go into the grocery store, right? So that right there, again, that was a good, glimpse of what is to come. And it's only going to be worse, it's only going to be worse, you know? 'Cause when you go into that word killed, and I've gone into this word many times. I first heard it from Elder Yashwama from the Dallas camp, right? That word killed, which I did my own research, that word killed goes into the Greek word apokteno, which goes into actually physically kill, but that root word apo goes into what? To be separated by physical distance. And I've done videos on it, man. You know what I mean? And showed it in the blue letter, which I encourage you to go and do your own research on it and look it up in the blue letter. But it goes into to be separated by physical distance. Again, we've seen that, first beginning stages of it with the Ikuviki, right? And now we're going to see it a hell of a lot more on a larger scale, right? When this Karagma ultimately gets rolled out, man, right? Those that ultimately don't want to succumb to this system are going to be left high and dry, man. Let's keep reading. Revelations 13-16, it says, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a M-A-R-K in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that word M-A-R-K, right, the Greek word for that word mark goes into what? Karagma, man. And fuck it, man. At this point, everybody knows at this point, man, or you should know, right? If you don't know, then man, that's on you, man. Right? The prophets have been out here speaking this truth, man, for decades, man. So I mean, everybody should know at this point, man. Right? Because that Karagma is that RFID micro C hit, man. Whether it be this Neuralink or, which I've never heard about this Starlink, man. If this is something that is the same thing, then hey, you got the Starlink, you got the little rice grain, you got all these different forms of the Karagma that are going to be implemented into your body or inserted into your body, right? And people are going to take it, man. Because it's going to come a point in time where Esau is going to completely shut down cash, right? Make it to where everything has to be 100% digital, and they're going to get rid of your credit cards, your debit cards. They're going to get rid of all that shit, which, mind you, those cards already have the RFID, sensor and stuff like that in it, man, right? And instead of being in your card, it's going to be in you, right? They're going to upgrade. Right, they're gonna offer an quote unquote upgrade, man. Right, which is you actually taking the rice grain, right? Where you don't have to sit there and say, oh, well, you can misplace your wallet, right? You can sit here and leave your cards at home, but with this thing, you can never leave it anywhere. You just go up, scan your hand, boom, you can move on. So they're gonna play on convenience. They're gonna play on many different things, man. And well, they just came out with this new biotech company came out with this, and is making it to where people can ultimately, see now, right? They were blind, now they can see, or they're deaf and now they can hear, right? All these miracles, which goes up to verse 14, right here, which you can read it, right? But I'm going to continue on. In verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? So unless you have this RFID micro C-hip, or the brain C-hip, or whatever it may be, right? Whatever form of the Karagma that they ultimately offer you, right? If you take it or if you don't take it, then guess what? You're not going to be able to buy and sell, man. They're going to completely excommunicate you from society, man, which is ultimately likened unto killing you if they don't physically kill you. Now, there are going to be people that are going to be killed, like physically killed, But who knows, man? They could physically separate you first, man, right? And then if you ultimately keep you butting heads with their system, right, and what they want you to do, they can eventually just kill you, man. However it happens is however it happens, at that point, man. But I'm gonna go back and read this, and then I got one more precept and we'll get out of here. It says some of the disadvantages. Bulletin 2, it says enterprises may eventually have to deal with massive numbers, maybe even millions of IoT devices, and collecting and managing the data from all these devices will be challenging. And this is, again, that's why Esau Edom had came up and created this AI, right? So that way they don't have to do that legwork themselves, right? It says if there's a bug in the system, it's likely that every connected device will become corrupted, right? It says since there's no international standard of capabilities for the IoT, it's difficult for devices from different manufacturers to communicate with each other. And this is why they're creating these CBDCs, so that way when they connect it to this one system, everything is going to be connected, right? There's not going to be no issues, no schisms within their system, right? So that way they can operate the way they want to operate, which we understand. Everything that E1on touches is ultimately fucking flawed, right? So there's going to be issues. There's going to be, you know what I mean, hackings and so on and so forth, man. Right? This is a very flawed system that E1on is trying to set up, man. You know, and this is why it has to be taken down. Right? Hey, the Lord is finna root this place the fuck up, man. You know? The Lord is finna depoint the devices, right, or of the crafty, right? We mean, hey, their enterprise, their matter of fact, let me grab that. Right here. This is Job 5:12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So the Lord is going to step in and cast this shit down, man. Because at the end of the day, this is a dystopia. This is not a utopia that Esau ultimately is trying to, you know, get you people to believe, right? That it's going to be all good, dandy, it's going to be easy, it's going to be smooth. No, man. This is going to be a complete and utter utopia, man. I mean, it's like a dystopia, right? Not a utopia, but a dystopia, right? And the Lord is trying to bring forth a actual utopia, man, where righteousness flourishes, right? Right now, wickedness is flourishing, right? And the Lord's got to root that shit the fuck up in order to bring forth that which is sown with good, right? 2 Ezra, the 4th chapter. You know, so he has to disappoint this damn devil's agenda and his devices, his enterprise, in order to bring forth the charagma, man. Or it's like, you know, in order to bring forth, it's like a slip of tongue, in order to bring forth, you know, the kingdom, right? A righteous kingdom, right? This is what's going to happen, man. And everyone that ultimately took this charagma is gonna be destroyed, man. You know, and again, this is why we preach, right, through the word, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, through his word, not to take this charagma, because destruction is coming for those that ultimately take this charagma, man. And I'll grab this, man, and we'll get out of here. Revelations 14, I'll start at verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. That's right, man. Meaning you're going to be destroyed, man. You taking this charagma will get you killed by Yahweh Shem Shai. Fuck Esau, Edom, man. You know, we understand that this damn devil has an agenda, right, where he wants the world population, right, at 500 million, maybe even less, right? So that means 7 billion, right? Around 7 billion people are going to have to be killed, man. You know, so even if you do take it, right, it's like, come on now. Hey, not only is Esau Edom going to kill you anyways, especially if you're an Israelite, right? Well, now you got to deal with the Lord, man. You know, because the Lord can have it to where Esau Edom attempts to kill you, even though you already took it, right? But he doesn't succeed. And well, now the Lord's going to get you, man. You might have escaped, right, one punishment, right, in order to receive an even worse punishment from Yahweh Shem Shai, man. You know? And none of us should want that, man. None of us. I know, I speak for those that truly worship, you know, Yahweh Shem Shai, truly believe, you know. Hey, we don't want that, man. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow after Yahweh Shem Shai and no one else, man. You know? So don't take the charagma, man. You know what I mean? And stay watching, man. Stay prayed up, man. Right? Because Esau soon is going to force this charagma. Right? Right now, he's bringing it out. He's talking about it. Right? He's trying to get a lot of you people to take it. Right? But soon, he's going to realize not enough people took it. And he's going to come down having great wrath, man. Forcing the masses, man. You know? So, hey, stay circumspect, man. Stay watching. Stay prayed up, man. Keep the faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. Keep fearing the Lord, man. Keep praying. You know, and Lord will, we can get out of here soon, man. So with that, Lord will is edifying, Lord will straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash, that belongs to the elder apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Till next time, I say shalom.